Imagine spending 25 years climbing the corporate ladder, surviving 4 rounds of layoffs, working very long hours. We're talking maybe even 16 hours, sacrificing your real family, only to have your entire career changed by a 6 minute invite from an HR manager who is half your age. This is not a hypothetical nightmare. It's an ongoing silent epidemic, and it's happening to the most capable professionals in the world right now. And I laugh because I've been through it. I've laid off people and I've been laid off. The greatest lie we've been programmed to believe is that corporate careers equal security, job security. But the brutal reality is that in your 50s, at the peak of your earning years, you don't possess an asset. You actually possess a target on your back. Companies don't want your 30 years of mastery anymore. They want a rookie they can underpay and overwork. It's just the name of the game. And when you send out your resume, crickets. Nothing. Zero. You are labeled overqualified, which is a code for too expensive or too smart to control. But here is the terrifying paradox. Why are the most successful former VPs of organizations, CEOs, and directors people who used to run multi-million dollar divisions or agencies? Suddenly, they are unable to even get an interview at a local retail store, or they're settling for jobs that are way, way, way beyond what is their pay grade. I don't think it's because that they lack skills or experience. It is because of a fundamental flaw in how they are trying to sell themselves. So in this video, we are bypassing all the broken job boards, and I'm going to show you the exact psychological shift that is required to reclaim your autonomy and the three-step framework to turn your decades of corporate trauma into a high ticket asset that nobody can fire you from. In other words, we are going to reinvent your career. Let's look at a real world case study. A mid level management executive, shall we say, in New York is earning $175,000 a year, gets unexpectedly terminated at age 54, and he spends a whole year desperately trying to get a job. He's making all these applications. But finally, he swallows his pride and takes an entry level hospital aide job just to keep his health insurance. The thing is, the system is engineered to extract your best years and discard you the cost of keeping you outpaces your compliance. The trauma is not just financial, it is actually existential. You have been the director of this, or administrator of national that, or the vice president of this for over 2, 3 decades. And that title is stripped away from you, and you are left asking this one question: who am I without my business card? Most professionals try to solve this by going back to school or buy a professional license for some service, or attempting to build a complex business with employees and overhead. And they end up trading their corporate stress for the entrepreneurial burnout. And I've been there. If you are sitting there right now, staring at the calendar you dread, or staring at a blank resume, wondering, where did it all go wrong? You need to realize that you're fighting a rigged game. That's what it is, a rigged game. You don't need a better resume, honestly. You need a vehicle that packages your specific lived experiences into a sellable offer. Okay? And that is what I help people do. Now, here's the secret the corporate machine doesn't want you to know. They can take away your salary, they cannot take away your cognitive assets, the things that you know, the things that you've been through. Your 25 or 30 years of navigating corporate chaos is worth millions to the right person. So, step one, you need to shift from job seeker to the solo coach consultant. Stop asking MHR managers for permission to work. Just shift your posture. You are no longer looking for a job description to fit into. You are actually now solving problems. You are diagnosing high value problems for businesses that need immediate expertise. And you are going to solve that. Number two, you need to package your scar tissue. Every crisis you've solved, every budget you've managed, every team you have built is a repeatable framework. Okay. So the solution may not be necessarily to look for a job, it's to look for companies that are experiencing the exact pain points that you spent decades fixing. Now you might be thinking, I know how to do my corporate job, but I don't know how to sell myself as a consultant or as a coach. That is because you are thinking about business in the old way. It doesn't work anymore. With massive websites, you're thinking marketing funnels and employees, but all you need really is one offer that solves one problem and you give it through one page. That's it. Nothing complicated. Third step, you need to define your clarity intensive. Instead of selling your time on an hourly basis, you sell the outcome. You package your knowledge into a high value advisory offer that gives a transition. That transition is a solution to the problem that they have. So you're selling the result. You become the guide who prevents other companies, all people, from making catastrophic mistakes. All because you've been there. No politics, no toxic managers, just pure expertise or high fees. That's all it takes. So the philosophical shift you're going to make is, why is this transition not just necessary, but the best thing that will also happen to you? Because your 50s, honestly, should be your era of highest leverage, not highest anxiety, because that is very, very costly. So when you build your own vehicle based on your lived experience, your hourly rate scales for forward and your vulnerability drops to zero. No one can fire you when you own the asset. I remember when I was talking with my coach, she said that you've got a very good offer, but you are charging very little for what it is actually worth based on what the market was the numbers on the market. And it's very, very interesting. All of a sudden, I'm motivated. All of a sudden, I want to go out with my offer, not just because it will earn me more, but I'll actually be solving people's problems. So the other thing you have to think in mind, keep in mind, especially for those of us who are parents, is what does this show to your family, to your adult children? Instead of watching you getting beat down into nothingness or despair, they are watching you adapt. They are watching you reinvent yourself, changing your career, not really changing, but just repositioning and building an empire of one with pride. What does that do to them? It encourages them. So let's go back to the executive I spoke about who had to take an entry level job at a hospital, or the VP who bought an RV just to survive. Their mistake wasn't lack of brilliance. But when you are in those times when you have lost your job and you are not able to get back into the working world, trust me, it messes with your mind. It hammers hard on your psyche about your your capabilities, and you end up just playing the survival game. Okay. So what happens is you begin to force yourself into a framework that is not going to work for you, right? So you don't need a full-time job or corporate machine. when you are the machine. So you have got an ultimatum that you're facing. You stand at a crossroads right now if you're like that. Option A is to keep playing the lottery on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or dealing with all sorts of HR people who might not want you to give you the light of day, or faking the corporate smile, and praying that your next round of layoffs will miss you. That's option A. Keep hitting at the broken system. Option B is to accept that the writing is on the wall. Accept it. But you can claim your decades of authority and package them in a way that it gives you complete sovereignty for the next, don't know, 20, 30 years of your life. The choice is yours. But the clock is ticking. It's not going to wait for you. If you're ready to build your escape route, check out the description the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Book a call with me and we're going to see how you can make this shift. I look forward to seeing you in this video. Peace to you.